Greetings. Welcome to another installation of the House 94 podcast. Glad you can get back with us this week. You know what I'm saying? The sun is down in Wakanda, but I still got to have my sun visor on because my hair is still not luxurious as it should be. Give you a quick COVID update for the folks who've been watching every week. I'm probably about 95%. You know what I'm saying? I'm up and about. I'm cooking again. You know what I'm saying? Back kind of feeling like myself, not having any real lingering effects. So looking like the gorilla has retired, and I think I might be straight. Today, we got a special guest, one of our classmates, Mr. Geoff Streat, Side Chapter 94 and Morehouse College Class of 96. He is the Chief Operating Officer at USHERS New Look, and I would assume everybody in our viewing audience would know who Usher is, and if you don't, Usher is the, singing phenomenon, R&B king, legend, all of that. I guarantee you have danced to his music before and you know who it is, but he is the Chief Operating Officer at USHERS New Look, which is a nonprofit that transforms the lives of under-resourced youth through comprehensive programming, which develops passion-driven global leaders from middle school through college. So I guess we can start off, Geoff, you can give us an overview of what you do, how you got to New Look, and what the organization does.
Much
and again,
appreciated,
welcome
brother.
to the House Podcast, bro. Welcome.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate the work y'all been putting in. It's really cool to see all y'all act as grown men. We've had a lot of adventures over the years, but one of the things I really appreciate about our experience at Morehouse is the fact that we're able to evolve like this, right? We're still able to be our authentic selves, but each of us are kind of doing our own thing in our respective disciplines. So I need to shout y'all out on that, and for creating a space like this for people to come and have some real good conversation. So shout out to all of y'all for putting this together. So my path to New Look, it's a weird non-linear story. I started at Morehouse a year behind most of you guys, and I was pre-med initially, like a lot of folks that come in. Did that thing, and man, like about 2 years into schooling, I took this psych class, and it kind of touched me in a different way than most of the biology classes did. So I switched to a psych pre-med, finished out my pre-med studies, and while I was at home during the summers, I was interning at Johns Hopkins University in the School of Medicine with the Orioles team physician at the time. So it was a great experience. But what it also showed me was, a behind the scenes look at what it is to work in a career. And it was an invaluable experience in that I saw a lot of what it was cool about it, but also saw a lot of stuff that you don't necessarily hear, particularly as a young person, when people try to pump you up to go into different careers. So the person I worked with, man, he was a really interesting dude, but he was miserable, man. He worked, 80 plus hours a week, but he just wasn't a happy person. And I think that's one of the things that resonated most with me about that particular career. And the walk that I was hoping to take was, I wasn't sure if that was for me. So I finished out pre-med at school, I applied to med school, did well, but just decided I wasn't ready to go to school. So I started working. I know y'all remember Atlanta Metro, right? Anybody got some stories? Oh, yeah. I think everybody has a few stories about Atlanta Metro, right? That's probably a conversation for another day. But I worked there in a couple of different capacities, but I was working in a TRIO program. For folks who don't know what TRIO is, TRIO it's a group of federally funded programs through the Department of Ed that serve low-income and first-generation students. So through these federal funds, they're able to get tutoring to, just remediation so they can do better in school and graduate. So I was working for this TRIO program. I speak Spanish, so I was teaching math, science, and Spanish. And at the time, it was a cat at Morehouse, and I can't remember his name, but this was like 96. He like came up on some Yahoo stock. And at the time, the internet was like popping in like 96. It was like really just starting to jump off. And dude made
Earthlink and all that.
We said?
Earthlink and all of that.
Yeah, Earthlink, Yahoo, all that stuff. But he made like 15 grand off of an investment. And it just, yeah, exactly. It kind of opened my eyes up to the business world. And up to that point, I had pretty much been straight science. So my boy and I at the time, we were both on the same pathway, working in the same program, trying to stay sharp for med school. My boy took a job at E-Trade. And you know, I'm the kind of cat, like if I see somebody do it, I know I can do it. So I ended up getting this temp job at Solomon Smith Barney in Buckhead down here. Cool. I know you remember these days. We used to hang out pretty tough back then. But I was working in this firm, man, and it was again eye-opening experience. Seeing people making all kinds of money, making trades. But one of the things that stuck out with me was the composition of the people in this firm. All right, I was one of 3 brothers in the whole firm, actually 4, in this whole firm. So one guy was probably at the time, he was in his, I give him probably late 20s at the time, maybe early 30s. He was a partner, one of those brothers that was racially ambiguous and knew how to toe the line, right? And he was killing it. So there was another brother that was a couple years older than me, was a Georgia Tech alum, former football player. He did very well too. He was learning he was adept at tapping his former teammates and boosters and all that to get his money. Then there was this other brother who I think I probably identified most with him. So he's from a humble background, but he was really struggling. Like he didn't have the client base that some of these other guys had. And I remember one night where all these white guys and I went out getting drunk, and when people start drinking, the truth comes out, right? So this one guy was talking about there was this guy named Dave that was the manager, and Dave was probably a year or 2 younger than everybody that he managed, right? So relatively young white guy. And this other dude got really sauced up, and he says, man, the only reason this damn Dave is the manager is because his grandfather dropped a mill on him. Right.
Oh, he says this in Dave's presence?
He said that amongst a group of guys, and I heard him say it. And wow. So I asked the guy who I was clerking for at the time the story behind it. He said, yeah, his grandfather started him off and got his friends to invest in him too. So he's starting with at least $1 million. Think about this in the mid 90s, what you could do with $1 million, right? So, again, I'm thinking like, man, I just don't come from that kind of family where I can hit up my dad or uncle or somebody, grandfather, and get set off like that. So for me, it pushed me to think about like, how can I advance my skill set? And I took that into business school. So me and Cool, we jumped in B school at Clark Atlanta University. One of the best times of our lives. Would you agree, Cool?
Amazing time.
We worked hard and played hard. But yeah, it was a great experience, man. I got to see a lot that I hadn't experienced in Morehouse, because I never took any business classes at Morehouse. But we're in these classes. I did the finance route, so my concentration was finance and learning all these different principles. And at the same time, I'm watching Cool, who's jumping off his construction business, right? And I remember thinking, we used to talk about this, Cool, from time to time, man, like this is some interesting stuff. I could see myself doing it, but I really didn't have the intro or figure out how I could partner to join Cool's business or start my own at the time, particularly because I didn't have the resources too. So I had some cool opportunities in B school. Our summer between our first and second years, we did an internship, and I got to work in Mexico for this company called Delphi Automotive Systems. And Cool, you remember the story, man. I had never heard of Delphi before. I had no interest in Delphi. I wanted to do like M&A with Citigroup or somebody like that. But one of your classmates, Raphael Coleman, interned with them the year before. Remember, Cool? So we were talking about, the second year students were telling the first year students like me and Cool, like different companies to check for. And Raphael was like, yo, man, you should check out Delphi. I had a chance to go work in Mexico. I know you speak Spanish. You might like it. So I remember going into the interview with no interest at all. Like I didn't do any preparation. I just went in there like just freestyling. And it was a brother that was a CAU alum that was doing the interview who happened to be like a VP of finance for one of the units. So we ended up having a really good conversation. And at the end, he basically was like, I really would love to have you aboard. Where do you want to go? And I was like, man.